I can't get that song out of my head, Lyle. Another week, got to listen to that bad boy of a doozy of a tune. But it is what it is. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Panfish Nation. My name is Mark, the co-host of Mr. Lyle Stokes. How you doing, bud?
I'm good, buddy. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm getting ready to go fishing here for 9 days. Gonna chase them.
That should be a lot of fun.
Them big channel cats. I'm looking forward to that. Close to home, like you guys are always teasing me. It's only 15 minutes from the house. If it's only 15 minutes, why do I got a whole truck full of camping gear, Lyle?
I would never say that.
So last week, well, hello, everybody. You know what? I'm going to give everybody a few minutes to come in before I shout everybody out. But okay. Let's start to where we came up kind of with this idea. Last week we did our show and it was good, and we had mentioned a couple of channels, and everybody seemed to like those channels that we mentioned, or they either knew of them or wanted links to them or something like that. So we came up with this idea to just go over the stuff that we watch. Me and Lyle, we watch a lot of stuff on YouTube. I used to watch more than I do now, but I still watch a lot of stuff. So that's where we got the idea for this. And I had I'm going to take full credit for that thumbnail because I like them two grouchy old sons of SOBs from the Muppets. That's you and I perfectly. Actually, let's hold on. I'm going to move me over so we actually match the backdrop. There we go.
I actually, the grumpy old men one was pretty good.
That was pretty good too. I could have done a better job on this, but I've been like so pressed for time that I kind of rushed through this one. But still, I think people got the idea, and hopefully they enjoyed checking that out. That's pretty cool.
That's right.
I got all sorts of stuff coming up here on my computer. All right, let's see. We got 26 people in here. Why don't we
hang on before you get to that?
Oh, sure.
There's a couple of things that I want to touch on, but because once we get started on what we're going through, Mark, we're going to be busy with that for the rest of the entire show. And I wanted to say something when I was thinking about this and all the channels that we watch now. I'm not going to put in all the live stuff that we watch because we both watch a lot of live stuff, and the people that we watch that know we watch them, and everybody knows we watch them because we're all in chat yakking. I'm going to try to hit ones that a lot of people probably don't know about, or if so, it'll be very few people know about. But one sticks out in my mind. When we was in chat, there was a whole bunch of us in chat one night. I'm not going to mention names or anything like that. And something come up about an OnlyFans thing. At the time, I never had heard of that. So lo and behold, I'm searching through this that night while we're live, and what do I find but a James Dockery Only Club fan club? And I'm thinking, what in the hell is this guy doing? I think he'd do anything. I swear to God.
Oh my goodness! I was not. Well, we had that conversation a few times in the past.
Yeah,
but I didn't know he actually had one. But I'll take your word for it. I ain't gonna go looking for it. No.
I got a package in the mail the other day from Little Miss Bacon Bates. Leslie sent me some stuff. Is that not a cool decal?
It is. There we go. I got you on solo there, but
that's really cool. She sent me some more baits to use, and I'm going to show you folks these. These are 1-inch baits.
Look at them.
And that's one. I believe them to be 1/64 jig heads because I have some, and they're just about exact same size. I'm going to slay me some bluegills with these. I like trying plastic stuff, but I usually end up going back to hand ties. Now, if they're hitting on them, I'll stay with them all day. But they gotta work because I know them hand ties are gonna work. And I know my old buddy James, he's gonna say, "Oh man, you got to use them tube jigs." They don't always work either. They work a lot of times.
You know he's gonna have something to say to you about that.
I know he is. But
he's probably typing a message to you right now.
He's probably going to have more to say about the OnlyFans club. Oh, I did get one. Says I do not have one of them, and I'm going to call me.
What's going on? What's going
But
on, James? How you doing, Katie?
uh, I do have a pretty good list, and like I say, this isn't tonight's show. In my mind, when we talked about it, wasn't about the tried and true hardcore shows that everybody watches. This is about bringing some people to spotlight that you might not have heard of before, that we both feel are good quality shows to watch. And Mark went out on a limb here, and he got a bunch of different lines, not just fishing. And I didn't really. I only have a couple like that. Most of my stuff is fishing related, one way or the other. So I'm going to enjoy, because I know him and I talk about cooking, and believe it or not, we really do. And all kinds of crazy stuff that we visit about throughout the week. So, and with you being gone this week, I'm going to miss that, but I'll be looking forward to the pictures. So, once you guys all go to Mendoza, have a wonderful time up there, and I'll be wishing I was there, especially if somebody gets my 30. Yeah,
you know how to get in touch with me if you get lonely. I'm
I
always
do.
there for you. Yeah, when I made my list up here, these are channels that I really enjoy that aren't the normal. I mean, all the people here in chat that have channels that do the lives and so on, I enjoy them all the time. You guys know I'm in the chats and everything, but we wanted to just kind of bring attention to some other channels. Not only that, it's just something different. If you're hearing about the same thing on this show that you already know about, then how are we entertaining? We're not. So let me say hello to everybody, Lyle. What do you say?
Let's do it.
All right. We got 3 nights in the house. What's going on, Donald? And that's catfishing. Good to see you, dear. Benoit fishing outdoors. What's going on? Hopefully you're putting that boat to work. There's Butterflies and Sunshine. How you doing, dear? Dale Hayslip in the house. Our buddy Danny Stone Outdoors. How you doing, Danny? I see Eric Massie Jig Company. He was live pulling crankbaits today. That was kind of fun.
I seen that. I seen it afterward. I actually was taking a nap when it was
I'm jealous too. I might have to order some of them, but I'll do that when you're not around because I don't need any help. There's Chad from Fields of Water. What's up, Chad? See you soon, bud. Greg Burgess in the house. Hooks and Hammocks. How you doing, Mr. Vinegar? There's LG Bass. What's up, LG? He's been on fire on a dock. Hey, there's Mad Catter. Catfishing. What's going on, sir? Mike Irvin in the house. Northern View Outdoors. Hey, he might know some of the channels that I am going to talk about. There's Pontoon Jody. How you doing, dear? There's Air Run over at Up in the Air Run Outdoors. And sweet Uptown Chrissy Brown. How you doing, dear? Let me see if I missed anybody. Crappie Day Fish On channel supporter. What's going on, sir? I think we got everybody. If more come in, you know, we'll always holler everybody out.
Did you get Chris with hooks and hammocks?
I did get Chris, Mr. Vinegar.
No, yeah.
I did. I've been waiting to use it on him for a while now. There's my buddy Ryan over at Setting Hooks and Crossing Eyes. What's going on, buddy?
I really I got a bang out of him doing that with the vinegar stuff. I actually have something I feel when I use it on my boat. I think it's easier on me because I don't have the scrub in my shoulders after all the surgeries. I can't scrub like that. And it's bathtub and tile cleaner. You spray it on, hose it off. You don't have to scrub nothing, and I like it.
I use a derivative of that Vinegar solution. I got something that's kind of that. That's one of the ingredients. Maybe we'll make a short of that or something here soon. It won't be as funny as Chris's because I'm not going for that funny video of the year award. I'm not very funny. I don't think I'm very funny. Might be funny looking, but other than that.
Yeah, I understand.
Why don't we get on to the show, Lyle? What do you say?
Let's do it.
You want to start or you want me to start, bud?
Either way, I'll go ahead. I'm gonna go to start this off with my number one show that I've watched for the longest time, and I never miss. And there's always a comment from me on it because he does a bang up job, and I wouldn't miss his stuff at all. And that's fishing stuff. In my mind, when I first met him at one of the Catfish conferences, I tried to get him on Catfish Weekly, and he didn't think that he should be it. He didn't think he had 600 subscribers, way over 100,000 now. And the quality he's got, his content is not, I don't feel like it's a whole lot better because his content was always great. But his quality has come up, and there's not a more helpful guy to a lot of us than he is. And I think fishing and stuff should have been the number one on my list, and it is. But I got a list. I mean, I really do.
Right here too. I just crossed him off my list because he was on there too.
Well, you have to agree. He's top notch all the way around. Super nice guy and deserves to be at the top of my page in my heart. So, Keith, thanks for everything you do. And I know all the people that watch your stuff, I know that they will agree with me with that. Hi, Laura.
He's helped me in the past too. He's always been there to answer my questions and be as much of a mentor as anybody. So, hey, there's Dan too from Goober Time. What's going on, Dan? How you doing? Hello, Laura. What's going on, dear? Mike Irvin. I'm not sure if I got him earlier. 922 Crappie Barbecue in the house. All right. Yeah, so I just crossed him off of my list, Lyle. Okay. I got a big long list here too. I'm going to start. I kind of split mine up into categories. I watch a lot of stuff, and these channels are channels that I not only watch on my phone or iPad or on my computer, but this is stuff that I'll put on my television and watch whenever a new video comes out. And sit over here. I got a lazy boy right here next to me, so we'll sit back there and we'll watch these videos. They're a good way to pass the time. Either they're informative or very entertaining. So I like to watch a lot of camping and adventure videos, Lyle. A lot of them. One of the ones that I've been binge watching here in the last couple of months is one called Truck House Life. I mentioned that last week. It's this gentleman, or I don't know how, I think he's a little older. He's not a kid, but a younger guy that lives up in Alaska, lived out of his RV for the longest time, built a house up there, and now he built a cabin on the back of his flatbed Ford diesel truck, and he does all sorts of whitewater rafting and camping and snowmobiling up there in Alaska, and some of the scenery he takes you to and some of the conditions he does all of that in is really something to see. It's a good channel, so I'm sure some people know about it. If you don't, check it out if you're into that sort of thing. So that's where I started with my camping and adventure list. Lyle, what do you got next, bud?
Okay, well, we want to welcome Richard in to chat with Fishing and Freedom, and it looks like a new one to me is Weed Hopper. Thanks for joining us tonight.
What's going on, Hopper? I know him from back in the hog leg days. He used to hang out there.
Very cool. I watch, and there'll probably be more than one because I can't remember. I watch nearly every fly and jig tying video there is. And one of the ones that pops up on my YouTube channel when I search it out every morning, I check them out, is a guy called White Opaque. Not sure they're silent. He never says anything. He does do some fishing videos, but he's always tying something. 2 or 3 times a week, maybe 4. Very good quality content, and I enjoy that stuff. So I watch all of his first thing in the morning when he puts them on, and thank him for doing that because it's really good. And even though the entertainment factor is not as high as, say, Bait Shop.
What? Did I say that out loud?
The quality of what he does is excellent. So if you're really into tying jigs or flies, you might check him out. It's White Opaque. He does several shows a week. Like I say, there's no talking in it, just time.
And what's the name of that one again?
White Opaque.
White Opaque. Yeah, there's something to be said for some of these ASMR type channels where it's pretty much just somebody doing whatever it is they're doing without blabbing like we do every week here on Panfish Station. So there's something to be said for there. It's definitely got its place, when you're not in the mood to listen to somebody talking and stuff, but you still want to be visually stimulated. Don't take that the wrong way, but you know what I mean. Let me say hello to Big Mike Fishing Chronicles. What's up, bud? Joe Buck 66 channel supporter. He's here too. What's going on, bud? How you doing? See if I missed anybody else. All right, the next one in my camping and adventure one is a channel called Lost Lake. I know that Betty told me that Brandon had been watching it, and I started watching. He has a 4-hour video where he was out in Canada for a year, camping on his kayak, going through all these lakes, doing portages, camping, doing all this stuff. I've watched a couple of his videos in the past, but I'm about 2.5 hours through this 4-hour journey. And it's not dancing. It's not monster fish. There's some fishing in there, definitely. Like he gets a grand slam of all the trout up there, which is what, a laker, a rainbow, brown, and a spluke, I believe it's called. I'm not too familiar. I think that's a hybrid. Stuff like that. He does like some simple cooking and stuff during the show, but mostly it's camping and him showing sceneries. The last thing I remember, he was up on I think it was Lake Superior is where he was at the time when I left him. Give me 1 second. Excuse me, folks. Had to hit that cough button. And that was a pretty good show. So our channel, that's Lost Lakes, Lakes. That's the channel. After the show, I'll go in and we'll add these. Maybe if you could send me a list of those channels, Lyle, we can add them to the description if people want to go back.
Okay.
Or just message us. So that was my number 2 for the camping / adventure category that I came up with.
Okay. Would like to welcome Jerry Parker in the chat. Good to see him in here. We always like to see Jerry in. Since this is Panfish Nation, number 3 on my list is a channel called Fish Yanker. This guy catches bluegill, which is my favorite panfish, and crappie. Now, he'll snag a bass once in a while, and he'll catch some other stuff. I've even seen him catch turtles. But he is an outstanding bluegill and crappie fisherman. He explains things very well of his rigs, the equipment he uses. He just very entertaining guy to watch, and he catches the fire out of fish. He fishes a little lake or river down there of some kind, and it just loaded with crappie. And he catches some big old bluegill too. And yeah.
Is he the guy in Louisiana? Am I thinking of the right guy?
I don't know.
I think it might be. There's
a guy in Louisiana that does a lot of fly fishing, and I didn't get him on my list, but I can't remember the name of his channel right now. Backwoods something or other. But yeah, this guy's name is Fish Yanker. Very entertaining guy. Check him out. If you like crappie and bluegill fish, you'll enjoy this guy. He does really well.
I think he's on my subscription list too. So that's a good channel. If I believe I'm remembering the right one, and I don't doubt that at all, bringing that you brought that up. So, all right, the next one on mine is a pretty big channel. This guy won I don't know if you know the show Alone that was on, I forget, A&E or the History Channel or one of those cable channels, where he was alone in the wilderness for like 86 days, if I'm not forgiven, or if I remember correctly, Lyle. And he won that year. I think it was like Alone 4 or something. I could be wrong. It don't really matter. But he won like $500,000 for that. And since he did that, he started his own YouTube channel. And the name of the channel is Fowlers Mischief. Now, it's amusing to watch. He every Sunday, I believe it's Sunday or Saturday night, he's got a new video. They're usually longer form. Well, I don't know if you'd appreciate this, but he's not the best fisherman in the world. He catches fish, but sometimes watching him will make you cringe. But his channel's more than fishing. That's just kind of the fun part of it. But other than that, he does everything from now. If he ever heard this or watched this, he'd probably be upset. But he's a good dude. I like him. Don't get this wrong if you ever hear this, but some of the stuff he cooks when he does his catches and cooks, he's like, where the heck did he get the idea for this stuff? But he goes through and he does it, and it's like, I don't think I want to try that stuff to eat.
Yeah, I got you.
You know what I mean? It's like he mixes stuff. It's like he never looked at a cookbook the day in his life. But hey, he's got to eat it, not me. But it's entertaining to watch. He does everything from like camping, survival. He does 30-day. He's done 30-day survival challenges in the past. Like I said, fishing. He just recently bought he's up in Maine. Just recently bought a property up in Maine, and he's going through and building kind of like a lake property for himself that he can fish on this lake. So it is pretty enjoyable. He's a big channel. I think he's a 1.5 million subscribers, something like that.
Wow.
He's been doing this for a while. He's and Ryan's right. He's a slingshot pro 100%. I think he's won all sorts of tournaments and stuff, but at 50 yards, he's hitting, quarters off of trees and stuff, Lyle. It's kind of ridiculous. He'll get you all the squirrel fur you want for them jigs, probably.
I got plenty stocked up, right?
But he eats. Back to what he eats, stuff like raccoon and rattlesnake and
I ain't no snake
stuff like that. But it's an interesting watch. He does a good job video, and he's got a big team now. When he first started, he was alone, but now he's got an editor and he's got a team of guys that do the video work for him or something. It was kind of cool. I've been watching him for a long time, and it's good to see somebody like that grow too. So
absolutely. And like I say, it's somebody that I was not aware of, so I'll have to go check him out. Here's a new one, Mark, that I recently found, and I have sent them a couple of messages, and I know they're very busy because they have a bait thing. They sell baits and stuff too. High energy, catch a lot of fish. They got a fish down south in Georgia and surrounding states called redbreast. We do not have them in Missouri. They are beautiful fish. I want to go somewhere and catch those, but I want to catch the ones like they catch that are like a pound or 10 or 12 inch ones. They look like a bluegill, but they are just absolutely knockout gorgeous. And the name of this channel is Georgia Boys Outdoors. And it's a guy and his son. They fish out of kayaks. Does a lot of paddling. I'm not really into that kayak business, but I might consider it if I could get one of them redbreasts. You know what I mean? Them are beautiful fish, and they make baits and sell them online. You need to check them guys out. High energy. The dad and the son both are. Of course, the son now, he's in school, so he don't make every trip. But I'm guessing he's probably 12 years old. I don't know. I'm not real good at guessing kids' ages. Man, they got it going on for somebody that I thought that all of them, I thought they was fairly new starting, and I think they are, but I don't know for how long. But they are extremely entertaining, gets a lot of fish, and they got some cool looking baits. You need to check them out. George Boys Outdoors.
Georgia Boys Outdoors. I'll have to check that out. That definitely sounds like something I'd like to see. All right, now those are pretty much a few of the outdoor and adventure channels that I watch. I'm going to move on. The next group of channels that I watch, I'm going to group these up as boating channels. Let's see, which one do I want to? We'll save this one I got here on the top for my last one in the boating channels. I got 4 of them. So that boating guy, he hasn't put out something in a while. But what he does is he does project boats. He rebuilds them from top to bottom, gets them at auctions, does a real good job rebuilding them, and then turns around and sells them. I've seen him do things where he's had I think it was 8 outboards. He'd fix them all in one day, get them all to run, stuff like that. Not only is it entertaining, but you can definitely learn something from it. What's going on, Dan Thompson? How you doing? So that is that boating guy. I almost had him on my podcast, but that kind of fell through. So.
Okay, since you're on that topic, the next one I'm going to tell you about is and this guy's got a lot of followers too, called Send It John Boats. The guy is really, really funny. He does excellent work. He redoes and fixes up boats and sells them and uses them. I don't know what all he does. And for some reason, YouTube has a problem with if you click the little bell, you're supposed to get notified whenever somebody that you're subscribed to puts out new content. It doesn't always work that way because I haven't seen anything in him in a while, and I know he's still making content. does too good of work. He didn't just quit, but he's very entertaining and he's got great knowledge of what he does. So check him out. It's a show channel that I know that you'll enjoy.
Yeah, I just saw that David from Double Hook Angling had joined us. What's going on, David? He's working on his boat, so I'm sure he watches all of these. If not, he might want to check them out. So
yeah, his is a pontoon too. It's a big boat.
It is a big one. I think it's 24 feet or bigger, even bigger than that. You'll have to forgive me for not remembering, David.
Yeah, I don't remember, but it's pontoon.
It's a big one. Yep. All right, the next one I'm gonna mention both of these because they're by the same gentleman. The first one that he does is Born Again Boating. He's a guy down in Florida. He's a professional boat mechanic. He's always working on boats. He's very informative. Not only is it entertaining, at least to me, to watch him fix stuff, he explains, and I've picked up quite a few things and some ideas from that channel. The Born Again Boating is the name, but he's been around for quite some time. He's a bigger channel. And an offshoot of that channel, like I said, I had two of them, is the Boaters Podcast, which is a podcast that he does. It's a short form one, so it's not like you have to spend a lot of time, but when it comes up in my newsfeed and it's a topic that interests me, like a lot of times he'll talk about 4-stroke versus 2 strokes. And like the last one he had this week that I listened to, he spoke on repowering a 2-stroke boat with a 4-stroke motor, what to look out for, why it's not always a good idea, what you got to do in order to do so. Why would you want to go to a 4-stroke when a 2-stroke works good if your boat can't handle the weight? Things like that. It's pretty informative. It's not really at any like higher level technically wise, but it's in regular people's terminology, so it's easy to catch up. So I highly recommend those two channels. This first one, which has been around for a while, Born Again Boating. That's Born Again Boating, and then the Boaters Podcast, which you just started here in the last year.
Sounds good. Welcome, Stonefly. Glad to see you made it in tonight.
What's going on, Mike? How you doing?
The next one that I have is a guy that we actually have had as a guest on here, and I can't remember his name, but his channel's name is Fish Anything. He changed the name of that since he was on with us. Does a lot of reviews, reels, rods. Mm-hmm. He also sells some plastic baits and stuff. Haven't tried any of them. Don't know anything about them. But he does a lot of fishing and stuff. He catches a lot of fish. But I watch all of his stuff that I see. I'm not sure. Sigh. What is wrong with him? I'm nothing but nice to him. I haven't told anybody to subscribe to James Dockery Fishing in a long time. But if you care to, it would be great if you did. But Fish Anything, great channel. Like I say, he's not new and he's not small, but he's got some good information and you'll enjoy checking him out.
I'll have to check that one out. I don't think that one's on my subscription list. So Fish Anything, cool. The last boating one that I have channel that I really enjoy is Team Marine. That's TEAM Marine. Some gentleman located up in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. This guy's a riot. You'd like him, Lyle. I think me and him would get along really well if we ever met up. No nonsense, speaks his mind. Just a simple guy. Owns a shop up there called Team Marine. He goes through and he rates boats. They have like shop day blogs, stuff like that. Talks about problems with boats, all brands. It's not only entertaining, it's very informative. So check out Team Marine here on YouTube. You guys will really like that channel.
Okay, yeah, I'll be sure to check that out. Here's one that I've followed for a while. Recently become a subscriber because I enjoy him very much. An older gentleman, kind of laid back, catches a lot of fish. It's called Fishing with Jim Gowan. Growan, Gronaw. I'm not sure how he pronounces it. It's not a big channel. Doesn't have a lot of subscribers. He catches a lot of fish. Explains things extremely well. And if you want a laid back show where you can sit and enjoy watching somebody catch fish, this is your guy. Check him out.
Cool deal. Let's stop and congratulate Stonefly. He says, my daughter and myself fished our first channel cat tournament this past weekend and came in 11th. Not too bad for 15 to 30 mile per hour wind, rain, and 3-foot waves. Good job on both for both.
Them. Heck yeah.
And look at this.
This Team Marie rocks.
Yep, Crappie Day Fish On. He knows what I'm talking about. It's a great channel. Check it out if you haven't. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, I need to check that out.
That was probably my number one pick for entertainment / informative. It's more news than anything. Boating ones. So all right, now I'm down to like fishing. I got a bunch of fishing ones, Lyle. I'm gonna start here. I'm sorry?
I still got plenty.
Okay, good deal. All right, I got Hooked Up Wisconsin. It's HOOKEDUPWI, all one word. Caleb up in Wisconsin, he does a lot of fishing. He does a lot of content from the bench. He does a lot of content out fishing. Does a lot of reports and stuff per season, things like that. It's pretty entertainment, pretty educational site. The guy knows what he's talking about. He catches a lot of fish. The next few ones that I have on here, I think a lot of them take a lot of time to fish together because most of them are going to be from up north of me. But he does a real good job. It's Hooked Up Wisconsin, Hooked Up WI, all one word. Here on YouTube, that's a good one. I think if you guys will check it out, you guys will like it a lot.
Welcome, John Parker, Real Time Catfishing. Glad to see you made it in here tonight. It's always a pleasure. Mark, this guy here is no stranger, and he lives, I think, somewhere around you or used to. I fish.
He does. He lived just south of me. I believe Ryan knows more about him than I do, but I know he didn't live too far south of me. So
I watch a lot of his stuff. Some of his stuff I don't watch, and I'm not going to get into that because he catches a lot of fish, and he does a really good job explaining how he catches them, why he does certain things. He does a lot of reviews. I'll leave it at that. He does a lot of reviews. You take the reviews with a grain of salt. But he's got a very entertaining channel. I particularly like the way that he customizes his boat. Most people spend a lot of money putting different things on there. He takes a piece of wood if he wants something, he makes it and uses it. And I find that extremely entertaining.
I believe his name is Roman, and I'll agree with you on his reviews. His reviews are very, very detailed.
Mm-hmm.
Like extremely detailed, high level stuff. So if you want to watch that and you're into that, he's pretty much the guy for you. And he definitely has his own opinions and taste and gear that might not match everybody.
That's what I didn't know how to word that. But
but definitely if it works for him, God bless him. Let him use it. Use what we always say. Use what makes you confident, and there you go. I saw Roman. I'm sorry.
He talks a lot about Japanese stuff, and I've never had anything in my hands that was Japanese made that could compete with United States made stuff, period. I have not personally.
Okay.
Especially in the automotive industry.
Well, that's automotive industry. Maybe we'll have to have that discussion one of these nights. We can talk a little bit about that, but I saw Roman from iFish. I believe he was on. I know he got a little bit of notoriety. He sent a couple of polls to one of the people on my list, and I'll mention that later. I'm saving those big channels for at the end of my list. He also was on another friend of my channels, at least Alex over at Realistic Fishing.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Alex fishing out of Roman's boat. I knew it was Roman's boat.
Couple of videos.
Yeah, I saw him do that when he went down there. That wasn't that long ago, but yeah, I did catch that. Definitely.
It's not. And I can take, if you're going to talk about realistic fishing, I take Alex off from my list because.
Oh, no, go ahead. He's not. Alex should be on mine, but go ahead. You take him.
Well, Alex is a realistic fishing. Again, he does bank fishing for panfish usually. He does a lot of bass fishing, and I'm not really interested in that, but I watch it because I like him. He had one of the most entertaining segments that he had went on for several weeks was some people dumped off a couple of deer carcasses where he fished. And he bitched about them every time he'd go over fishing. And I would get to laughing at him. And in my mind, I'm thinking, God, I'll bet them some bitches stink. But he's still there grinding it out. He complained the whole time. And another thing that really interests me, he's not afraid to speak his mind. When people get on and leave comments that are derogatory, he lays it out. He tells them about it, and I find that extremely entertaining because he usually does it in a way that strikes my fancy. You know what I mean? It's fun. So I enjoy watching Alex a lot.
Alex is a good dude. He's from my area originally, and he's now down, I believe, in Tennessee, if I'm not mistaken. And the only reason I know this is because he's come into a couple of my Flathead lives, and he's actually mentioned that to me. So I don't think I'm giving anything away.
Yeah, he's been in our chat a few times.
Yep, I've been watching his channel for a long time. He does the unboxing reviews. People send him all sorts of lures and stuff, and he appreciates that definitely. So everything from that to his fishing. He's another big fan of the Berkeley Gulp minnow and a lot of the Berkeley baits. His last video, I forget what the name of it was, but he brought an old bait that an old confidence bait of his out of retirement that he did catch a few bass out of there. So that goes to show that just because a bait you have in your collection is old, that doesn't mean that it won't work. So
that's right.
Yeah, I like Alex's channel. All right, so I said, okay, here's another one. This is a crappie channel, pure crappie channel. Wow. And of all places, this gentleman's up in Canada. Can you believe it?
I know who you're talking about.
No, we're not talking. I'm talking about Extreme Angling and Crappie Machine is the name of the channel. It's a very informative channel. The guy fishes out of like a bass type boat. I don't know what brand it is, but he's got more tackle probably behind him when he's in his garage than you and me combined.
I understand.
He goes through a lot of different plastics. He shows a lot of different techniques. He takes people out there. It's a good channel watch. I believe he's sponsored by like Crappie Magnet, a couple of the larger companies out there, so he's got a little bit of credibility in the business, but he does really well up north where it's cold, and he does an ice fish. I don't remember ever seeing an ice fishing video.
I've never seen one. I know who you're talking about, and I watch a lot of his crappie fishing stuff. Does a really good job with them. So
that's my second fishing channel of the night. So
well, my next one on my list is a new one to me, fairly new, and I'm going to say the last 3 or 4 months. It's called Fishing with Anthony. It's a gentleman down south someplace. I'm not sure where. For some reason, I want to say Alabama, but that's probably not right. Fishes with his handicapped daughter. Every day they go out and fish. She's in the boat with him. He works extremely hard to make sure this young lady catches fish. And sometimes she does, and sometimes she don't. And the last one I watched today, he was trying to teach her how to use a spinning reel. And she was struggling with it. But she got to do it. She mastered it. Since I spent part of the end of my working career working on handicap accessible vans, this is extremely interesting to me. The guy does a really good job. They catch some great bluegill. They catch a lot of crappie, and they're fishing mostly in shallow water. Now I understand right now they're bidding. I got that. But even when they're not, they catch them in shallow water. And they don't have a fancy boat. They don't have this and that. But they really do a great job. I'm glad you watch them, 922. I think they do. And she really gets excited when she catches a fish. And if she catches a really good one, it's a big deal. Now, she don't bait her own hook. She don't take her own fish off. That's okay. Some women don't do that. Regardless, some women are not going to do that. But they like to fish. And that's okay, too. So if you get a chance, check it out. It's called Fishing with Anthony. I'm sure that you'll find them very entertaining.
I have I don't know if I've ever told you this, but I have a nephew who's autistic. He's definitely on the spectrum, and he's got an older sister. And when they were younger, I used to take them fishing quite a bit. We even won a tournament, first and second place, with that I took him to here at a local pond. It was kind of exciting, and just like he says, whenever he would catch a fish, his face would light up. It would just warm my heart. So I'm definitely going to have to check that channel out 100%. So
You will enjoy it, I promise.
now, this one, Lyle, this guy catches a lot of perch. All right. He catches a lot of bluegill and stuff. He does really good. But I'll tell you what, this name caught my attention right off the bat. When I was scrolling through YouTube one day a long time ago, I'm like, oh, I got to check this out. Listen to this thing. Almost as good as Catfish and Crappie. All right. Almost. It's too fat to hunt outdoors.
I understand it completely.
Me too. That was a good channel. So I watched this gentleman. I'm not quite sure where he's from, but he does a lot of perch fishing. He does some kayak fishing, if I'm not mistaken. He fishes with his daughter quite a bit. He's got a smaller channel, but it's pretty enjoyable to watch. And especially since he fishes for like more of the northern species of fish that I'm used to, I find it really really entertaining. But with a name like that, how can you go wrong? Once again, the name of that channel, Lyle, is Too Fat to Hunt Outdoors.
That's funny. I like that. Well, here's one, Mark, that you and I both know. We've had him on Panfish Nation a number of times. Northeast Missouri Angling.
Mm-hmm.
Does a great job on his videos. He takes his wife out and shoots some video with her once in a while. There's another guy up there, and Strike 3 Fishing. He's also on my list. I'll just go with him while we're at it. Those two fish together in the same areas a lot. I think they visit quite a bit back and forth about who's catching what or where they're at or how they're doing or whatever. Both of those channels fish on Mark Twain Lake in northern Missouri. Both have quality content. If you get a chance, check them out. I know that Dennis will appreciate it. I can't remember the other guy's name. I'm sorry. But they do a lot of videos, and it's good quality stuff, gets a lot of fish. Mark Twain's not necessarily known for having gigantic crappie, so when they're catching 12 and 14-inch crappie up there, they got it going on.
100%. You know, and since we're talking up there, just this isn't on my list, but it definitely came to mind. We got Flopping Crappie. We had him on the show too. He's up north there.
He is really good.
That was definitely a good guy to have on there. 100%. Yep. So we want to make sure that we mention him up there too if we're talking northern crappie fishermen. So I don't think he's been doing as much content as before, but he still puts out on quite a regular basis. So I think whenever he gets the time to go fish, he films it and he'll post something. But his are a lot of educational stuff. He did a tournament when we had him on. Here's a little backstory. He had a deer hanging in his garage, folks. And when we had him on that night, he says he needs to get out there and finish processing that deer. And during the conversation, I had mentioned to him that I've watched him for a long time, and I don't think he totally believed me. I think he thought I was giving him the business, right? Which is fine. I can understand that. Be wary of people you don't know. I can appreciate that. I like them already. But when I mentioned I saw him. A little tournament he did between him, SK, Fishing Ken, and 3-pound crappie that happened like 3 years prior. He knew right away that I knew what I was talking about because none of those events I think happened on his channel. I think they were on everybody else's channel, and he ended up staying the whole hour. So we hit it off pretty good with him, and great channel. Very informative. I just figure I'd add that one to there because he was such a gracious guest hanging out with us. So
very good. Very good. Here's another guy that we've had on our channel a couple of times that does a great job, Eric Massie. We was talking about him earlier. Eric was pulling cranks today on I believe Lake Ozark.
Yeah, I believe so.
I remember that because he was talking about the boat traffic was very minor. This probably be the last day you see it. And he might be right about that because boat traffic is always horrible on Lake Ozark, depending on where you're at. Well, not really. It's pretty much all over. But on the little end, it's not as bad as it is on the big end. It's the #1 tourist lake in the entire United States. That's a fact. You can look it up. And they got more big boats and houses than any other lake I've ever seen. So, but Eric does a great job. He very instructional on his jig tying videos. He tells you how, why to do things, even as far as powder painting jigs and stuff. So if you haven't checked Eric's stuff out and you're into jigs and tying and flies and stuff like that, go check him out. You'll be very happy you did. He does a great job.
Yep, I saw him today too while he was live. I was chatting with him a little bit during that, and Eric's a good guy. A lot of people copy Eric. I don't know what else to say. I've seen his stuff everywhere and say, hey, look at this. Eric's got a post, and I'm looking at somebody else. And Eric's been doing the kind of jigs that I'm talking about for the longest time. So he was also on the Crappie Connection podcast. He kind of creeped up on me. That's a podcast that I listen to in my truck. I was surprised and happy to hear that he was on there. That's out of Grizzly Bait and Tackle out there in Missouri. Kind of a big deal for him to get there. It turns out that he supplies a lot of them tournament guys with his jigs, so he knows what he's talking about. And Eric, I think he's still listening. If you want mushroom coffee, he's your man. He'll know what I'm talking about.
Mushroom coffee. All righty.
We'll talk later. So I just wanted to add that again to your comments on Eric's. All right, my next one is this is a gentleman that's right on the Minnesota-Wisconsin border, and he fishes mainly the Mississippi River, which I know you like, Lyle. The name of the channel is Angler X Outdoors. This guy knows his stuff as far as like perch fishing goes, walleye fishing, pike and muskie up there. He knows how to get it done, and he takes his time in explaining exactly what he's doing and how he's doing it. And he always does a good job getting fish. And I'm not just saying that because he drives a Lund, because he catches actually fish in that Lund. So he and a couple of the other guys that I mentioned earlier, they fish together on and off. There's about 1, 2, 3. There's about 4 people here in Wisconsin, north of me, that they fish back and forth, and they have the same kind of content as far as the species they chase. And he's probably one of my favorite, or not that the other ones are bad, but he's probably my favorite one of up north, without going to like one of the big names, which I got a couple on my big name list, which is coming up here next. So I enjoy it. So check it out. Angler X Outdoors if you get a chance, if you're into that sort of thing.
I try not to pick favorites out in a deal like we're doing tonight, Mark, because, Keith, I've known him for so long. That's why he made the top of the list. But I have several coming up that I find extremely good channels, and I didn't put these in any certain order. So if you think they're in an order, the only one who's in order was Keith. I thought he should be. Yes, just message me.
What's up, Bug Man? I just wanted to say hello to him. That we did see it, Buggy.
Yeah, because I might not see it. K&N Fishing Smarts. We had him on here, Koa. My gosh, if you haven't checked his stuff out, this guy is a marine biologist. He went back to college last year, and I haven't talked to him since spring or early this year. But he's trying to get master's degrees, and I don't remember what all he's doing. He does some of the most wonderful videos. If you can't determine what one panfish is from the other, go check out his videos. Nobody explains it better. He tells you what equipment you need to catch certain specific types of fish. And how he goes about doing it may not be the way you do it, may work for you, may not, but he does a bang-up job. One of my favorite all-time guys, and right now he's not got anything brand new because he is back in school, but school's almost out. So I look to see a bunch of new stuff coming out from him really soon. So check him out.
Good deal. Yeah, he was very informative. He was a good guy to have on the show. And you're always sending me links to his videos whenever you come across anything.
I do, yeah.
I always enjoy checking them out when you send them to me. All right, the next part of my list, these are the popular channels, ones that people might already know about, but these are definitely favorites of mine. Not that any others bad, folks. It's just these are ones that I've been watching probably either for a long time or there's something about them that hopefully I can explain that keeps me coming back for more. And my first one is probably the most charismatic guy in catfishing, besides you, obviously.
Okay.
My favorite, and you know, I hope Ryan Bortz is listening because this would kill him if he heard this. Kayak catfish. Good old Justin Johnson. I think he's probably got one of the best presences on in the YouTube fishing world out of anybody. He keeps stuff moving. He's very bright. He's witty. He catches fish, even though he does that kayak fishing that you're not so fond of. He even uses live scope, which Lyle isn't too fond of. But you got to admit, Justin Johnson is a force to be reckoned with. So.
He is, and he's a tough fisherman. He does him and Brian Bortz go at it in them kayak tournaments, and man, that makes for some great entertainment.
Absolutely does.
And they're about the same height. I know that Ryan hardly ever looks up to anybody, but Justin's right there. I don't think he's quite as tall as Ryan, but he's really close. So. I've seen the results they had on a tournament they was both in a week or so ago. Very interesting. But yeah, he does a great job on videos. He's a good tournament fisherman, all round good guy, and another guy that will speak his mind if somebody is doing something shouldn't. So,
Bugman says, "I'm with you, Lyle, on live scope."
I want to clarify that. I don't find anything. Huh?
Let's not get into
I don't really see anything wrong with it.
Gotcha.
What I see wrong is everybody that's got it, that's all they want to talk about.
Oh, that we know. Yeah, definitely.
And I quit watching several shows just because they become live scope shows. I want to hear about the other stuff. Tell me how you can catch a fish without that. Tell me about that.
I think live scope can be incorporated into fishing media without it being just about live scope. You don't need to make your viewers constantly stare at the screen in order to show them that it works. You can flash to it just like you'd flash some structure that you see on side scan. Yep. There's no difference. So I did one video where I talked about live scope for a while, and not once did I show the screen, Lyle, if you remember that. So
yep, I understand.
And I thought I could get my point across without having to do so. So it definitely is a flex. Sometimes a lot of guys like to use it and I definitely like it and use it for a tool.
Hey, it's here to stay. It's never leaving.
Well, we can probably have a little discussion about this maybe on another show when I get back. Sure. I think we can. I don't see why we wouldn't be able to. There's all sorts of stuff coming down the pipe for that. And it's, I heard a good argument, and this might get you to think, they were saying it's probably no different than cellular trail cams, Lyle.
Probably not.
Where do we draw the line of technology, or do we not? That's the question. But we'll talk about that. I think that's a good show to have.
Talk about that some other time and get into it. But yeah, I'm up for that. Here's one that's been around a while. We've had him for a guest on our show. 903 Fishing.
That's on my list. I'll cross them off. Go ahead.
Okay, catches a world of crappie. He catches some bluegill sometimes too, but he is a crappie fisherman, and he'll walk in on creek and riverbanks, small stuff, and lay them out. I don't know how he carries the damn things out of there.
Yeah, you see those stringers? He has no mercy on them fish. Them stringers are packed.
And the guy deserves to be on YouTube and show people stuff because he's actually, I believe, a high school coach.
He's a high school. Is he a coach or a teacher?
I think he's a coach, but he's a teacher for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So he needs to vent a little bit after doing. I couldn't. There's no way I'm going to be able to. No way. I just couldn't do it.
He's coming up on 100,000 subscribers. He's having a subscriber drive, so he's been doing giveaways. He does a live show in addition to all his other content, whether it's on TikTok or YouTube or Instagram. He's got all his bases covered. But he does a live show, I believe, Sunday nights. You can check him. That's 903 Fishing. He's a gentleman. He's a younger man out of Texas who, like Lyle says, knocks the snot out of them crappies.
He does. He catches a world out of fish, and he knows how to tell you about it. That's where the school teaching part comes into effect. Mm-hmm. He knows how to get his point across to where everyone can understand it, whether you're an advanced fisherman or you're not. Doesn't make any difference. He makes it where you can understand. Them people are extremely important in the realm of what we do, Mark.
Danny says, I've tried live scope on the bank. It sucks.
Okay.
All right. My next channel, of course, the great Hagen Grubbs Fishing.
Oh, yeah. Hagen. I'll scratch him off.
I've been watching Hagen for a long time. I like the dynamic between him and his son. Definitely 100%. Probably one of the better father-son. No offense to anybody out there. Duos online. I forgot his son's name. Do you remember?
Oh, damn.
It's been a while since he's put a video out with him. So, but he knows what I'm talking about. Does his video work? I think he does a lot of the editing for Hagen. So that's definitely
he does a lot of the filming for Hagen.
Exactly. He does definitely the filming. When you got a team like that, father and son, that really care about the content.
And they care about the fish.
Yep. And he's going to remember his, they tear them up all the time, whether they're skipjack fishing or channel catfishing or blue catfishing. They do really good. Ohio River, if I'm not mistaken, mostly, right, Lyle? They fish?
Yes, a lot of times.
Yep.
A lot of times. And they don't have big fancy equipment to work with. They got good quality rods, reels, and hooks and all that stuff. But he doesn't have a brand new shiny boat to fish out of. He done a review on a live bait tank that he keeps in his boat. Mm-hmm. Very well done. All of his stuff is good. They just do a really cool job. And if you get a chance, that's a great channel to check out.
100%. I'm sure everybody's already done sub to that one. But I needed to mention a few of these channels that I really enjoy. So far, my top two so far are Kayak Catfish and Hagen Grubbs. So go ahead, Lyle.
The next one I have is a fairly new channel. I don't know how long Chris has been doing it, but it's a YouTube channel called Fishing with Chris. And the guy basically bank fishes. He walks into some places that I couldn't walk into, kind of be like Jerry Parker or James Dockery. Some of the places they go, I can't get in. I just can't walk through the rocks and the hills. And I think Parker burrows his own tunnels and stuff. You know what I mean? But Fishing with Chris, he catches a lot of fish. He's a multi-species person, catches lots of bluegill, lots of crappie. He'll catch a catfish once in a while. Does cooks. He's doing his cooking shows. He's catching cooks. He catches the fish. Today he caught fish. Now he's going to do the cook part of it on Saturday mornings. So if you get a chance, check him out. Extremely entertaining. Really nice guy. I watch all of his stuff. I try to comment on all of his videos. I try to comment on everybody's, but sometimes I don't know what to say. You can't come up with something all the time. But Fishing with Chris, check him out. I know that you're going to like him.
Welcome, Jody. Pontoon Jody says, I love Kayak Catfish. She's got a crush on him.
Oh, I do. I can tell.
Justin, if you're listening, you make sure that this is going on and be very cautious.
She'll have him on that pontoon boat.
Lyle, I scrolled past my food links. We'll go back and get them. We got all night. We ain't
okay. Here. Yeah.
All right. Now the next one is one I've been watching for a long time since it was a small channel. I'm not even saying that to flex or anything. It just happens to be the truth. It's Richard Gene, the Fishing Machine.
I remember seeing him the very first time.
Yep.
He didn't have hardly no subscribers.
When he does that Elmo, it's kind of like, what the heck is going on over
Yeah,
here?
I got to turn that away. I don't like that
Well, you
part.
know what? I can look. I don't mind it so much because he again. He's another guy who knocks the snot out of them
He
crappies,
does. He
bluegills,
catches them, and he
bass,
catches
and
multi-species fish.
he catches blue cats down there on what is it? What lake is he on? He's on the Tennessee River, Gunnersville. I've seen him catch blue cat, flathead. I've seen him catch channel cats with cane poles, speck bass, regular bass, tons of crappie, tons of red breast, tons of bluegill. He just gets it all. He's got a lifetime of fishing. He's also a father and son team. You guys probably don't know this, but I believe his son does all the editing and all the legwork for his channel. And Richard just straps that camera on and goes to work on doing what he does best, and that's fishing. What's going on, Stephanie? How you doing?
Glad to see you in here tonight, Stephanie.
Richard Gere is my hero.
He's got a great channel, and like I say, he catches fish in a water bucket that don't have fish in it. I believe he's knowledgeable, very knowledgeable. So I like to watch him.
Some of these guys, real quick, let me take a break. When I say they're knocking a snot out of them, there's a lot of guys out here on YouTube that hire guides to take them fishing, or they get insider information from somewhere without naming any names. The kayak catfishing doesn't do that. Hagen Grubbs doesn't do that.
That's
Richard Gene, I know he doesn't do that. He knows his stuff. He knows his waterways. So that was another one of the things that I wanted to take into consideration. So
yeah, the ones that like that, they're not on my list. Them guys that do that, they're not on my list. Here's one that some of you may or may not know. Catches lots and lots of bluegill, and that's my love to pan fishing. It's called Castleman Outdoors. He's in a little bitty old boat. He's got like a Zebcro Micro 33 that he uses, and he's got a what do they call them? Brim buster rod that he uses a lot of times. Sometimes he's got like a 6 or 7 year old little girl he takes with him, his daughter. Down south someplace, I'm not sure where. Enjoy his videos a lot. There's another one that I missed, was Living Minnesota Outdoors. I don't know how I forgot them, but I did. They got a great channel. You need to check them out if you haven't. But Castleman Outdoors, they cut these. I had to look it up. I messaged James Dockery, and he gave me what he thought it was, and I ended up having to look it up. They got a fish down there called stump knockers, and they look like bluegills, but they're not. And I had to look them up, but they catch a lot of those, and he catches a lot of bluegills, catches some crappie, but just a guy in a boat catching fish. Not a lot of talking. But I mean, he doesn't just sit there and let you go on without not saying something, but he doesn't explain a whole lot of stuff about it, but he kind of does. But he catches a lot of fish, and he's extremely entertaining when he takes his daughter with him. So check him out, Castleman Outdoors.
Very cool. I'll have to check that one out. I think I might have him on my list, Lyle, if I'm thinking the same guy. There's so many that I kind of lose track of them. So
yeah, I'm about 2/3 through.
Here's another guy from the north that I've been watching for quite some time. Since he started his career in fishing as a guide up in Canada at a very young age, at like 14. So it's not like he's hiring guides to take him fishing. He is the actual guide. He's also got into videography for his work, for his job. So his videos just come together. He does this full time. Since he started his YouTube channel up until now, not only does he have a very super successful YouTube channel, he's got a successful breading company that goes with it. He's also part of the Meat Eater crew, which is a big deal. That's a big production, big time. And that's Jay Simmons over in Canada. That guy catches the snot out of fish. He's a very hardworking individual. Got married not long ago, just had a baby, just picked up a brand new Alumacraft boat in the last season, which Lyle would like, even though it's a tiller. The kid knows how to knock the snot out of some fish, 100%. So if you're looking for some hardcore Northern Woods action, check out Jay Simmons and get his Catch and Cook breading. I hear it's really good. I haven't had it yet. Every time I go to try and buy it, Lyle, it's sold out.
Wow. That's saying something. I tell you what I need as far as breading. If Betty Jean's breading mix is that good, I need that recipe. I keep thinking every day I'll get an email with that in it from her, and it has yet to happen. So
I know nothing.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to clump a couple of these together.
All right, well, we're going to do that so we can get a move on because I still got a few that I want to get to for sure.
Yeah, anything that has to do with reel repair, even if it's reels I don't have. I watch a ton of those. I don't know why. I guess it's because I was in the repair industry my entire life. So I don't really repair that many fishing reels, but I find it interesting whether they're working on a Zebco 33 or like Josh did on Catfish Weekly here a while back, tore down a spinning reel. That to me, it was very interesting. Clearview Outdoors. He does some of the greatest.
Skip, he's done them, right?
He does some of the greatest reel repair videos. He's doing other things. He does fishing videos. He does some with Roger and some of those guys. But the repairs and the breakdowns and how he does that. Hey, Tim Molina.
What's up, Tim?
Buddy. But I really enjoy those videos about reel repairs, and he does some of the best explanations on how, why, and what of any of them out there. And some of these guys been doing them teardowns and repairs for years and years and years. And Skip really hasn't been, but he does a really good job. He has Betty's. You have Betty's?
I might have it too, Lyle.
What the hell? Oh, I'll be happy to take you bumping.
You better call her because I think she might be upset that you never call her.
I message her every once in a while.
I'm kidding you. I'm giving you a hard time.
Oh, okay.
Just relax. What's going on, Richard? How you doing?
Glad to see Richard.
Tim Molina, what's up, buddy? There's off the hook outdoors. Yeah. How you doing?
Check out Clearview Outdoors. If you're into seeing stuff tore down and put back together, you'll love it. Does a great job.
Here's my last fishing video or last fishing channel that I really enjoy that I look forward to his it's a huge channel. He's got a brother that's really popular, but I'm not going to lie. I like Blue Gabe better than his brother, Deer Meat for Dinner. I think Blue Gabe is more entertaining for me. And also that sweetheart girl, friend of his, Crystal Beach, she's a sweetheart. If I had a daughter or whatever, I definitely would want her to be as happy, joyous, and as outdoorsy as Crystal is. She's a heck of a young lady. She's also a taxidermist. How can you go wrong with that? I think he won a lot.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
He catches everything from crappie to catfish, catches a lot of flathead. He catches a lot of saltwater fish. The guy's a fishing machine. He does a ton of catch and cooks. Almost every one of his videos are catch and cooks. He does hunting videos. It might not be your cup of tea. I know a couple of people that got kind of upset at some of his videos, but you got to take that with a grain of salt. You don't know what situation or what part of the country people are doing.
That's right.
Said actions in. And I think that as long as it's within the law, you really can't force anybody to do anything else. Right. But it's very entertaining television as far as I'm concerned, Lyle.
I watch a lot of his stuff too. Very, very good channel. Here's one that we both know this guy really well. I try to watch all of his videos. Trey with Fish Snack.
100%.
Why this guy don't have 10 times the number of subscribers is beyond me. He walks like Jerry Parker through some of the damnedest stuff to catch these smallmouth bass. And pretty much smallmouth is what he's after. And really not my cup of tea, but he's so good at it and so entertaining that I watch every video that he comes out with. And if you'll check him out, Trey, with Fish Smack. Great channel, very knowledgeable, catches a world of fish, picks up trash as he's going in and out. Who does that? Yeah. Great guy. You need to watch him.
Good deal. Yeah, I like Trey a lot. Very underrated channel. I think you should be getting a lot more attention than he does. But if that just goes to show you the algorithm, if it doesn't pick you up, it doesn't pick you up.
If it doesn't pick you up, it doesn't pick you up. That's right.
It's a crapshoot for the most part. You can hit everything on the dot, and I feel that he does.
I do
but
too.
for some reason, it just doesn't happen. So hopefully that'll change for him here soon. Trey's a great guy. Wish him all the best. I'm gonna go. Let's go through. How many more you got, Lyle? Because I got 1, 2, 3. I got 5 left. Quick ones.
8.
All right. Well, these last 5 of mine are one of my favorite topics of all time, Lyle, and that's food. If you can't tell. I'm going to say this first one because I don't want you to steal it from me again.
I know who it is.
Our buddy Chud Bradley over at Chud's Barbecue. I like his channel a lot. I just got done watching one of his videos this morning while I was doing some work. He was making some Texas chili Frito quesadilla wrap supreme, something like that, and it looked awfully good. I really enjoy his channel so much that I hope I'll be able to make it to the Great Chicago Smoke out here this summer and sample some of his food because it always looks so good.
It does.
This is a great channel. So if you guys like barbecue, go to Chud's Barbecue, simple CHUDS BBQ, 2 words. Check it out. You'll like it.
You would. This guy buys a piece of
wood. Coming up. Oh, sorry.
Coming up.
There's a snake.
He grinds his own hamburger and stuff.
He does make sausage.
It's an amazing show to watch. Everyone is amazing. Here's one. I can't wait to this next one to talk about, but this one here needs to be talked about. Micah Burkhart. And I know most people think it's Micah, but when we had him on Catfish Weekly, we actually asked him, and his name is Micah. This guy come all of a sudden on to me. Now, I realize he's probably been on longer than I knew he was on. Great content, catches a world out of fish, has caught 2 state record fish in his state, I believe Tennessee.
Yep.
I think that's right. I just seen today he had a short on where he's going to venture out into the kayak business. I know he'll do well with that. He did say the only 2 times he'd ever been in a kayak, he dumped them both times. So I hope that if he gets some of that going on, that he don't edit that out because I want to see it.
He'll do just fine. I think Mike is a hell of a fisherman, and he seems pretty nimble too. A lot more nimble than I am. That's
sure. Absolutely. But he's got great content. If you haven't checked him out, you need to go check him out.
Not only do I like watching him catch those big blue cats, I like watching him when he goes bait fishing. He'll catch a lot of striper, white bass and stuff.
Very instructional.
I had him also. He's another one I had on my podcast. And not to steal anybody else's thunder, but I do mean to steal somebody else's thunder. I think I was the first one to have him after he broke that Tennessee record, and I know a couple of bigger guys, not including you, but nobody we know, Lyle. Well, maybe one guy we know was a little upset about it, but anyways, that's another story. We'll talk about that later. That was a pleasure and an honor to have him on my podcast, and it's always a pleasure to watch his content on YouTube.
Absolutely, good guy. Are you next?
Yep. I'm on the cooking stuff here. All right. I have a couple of smokers in my backyard, Lyle. I had 3 at one time. My stick burner fell apart, so I don't want to lie and say I have 3 when I don't. I have 2. I have a Weber Smoky Mountain, which I love. It works really well. Charcoal based. You throw wood in there. I also have a pellet smoke Grava Yoder, which is one of the nicer ones. And one of the channels that I watch quite a bit, and one of the channels that talked me into buying this Yoder about 8 years ago is All Things Barbecue. Chef Tom knows how to cook. He's actually works for Yoder, I believe, in their I guess their home store in Kansas. He does a real good job. I learned a heck of a lot as far as outdoor cooking from Chef Tom. 100%. I've been watching him, like I said, like going on 7 or 8 years, if I'm not mistaken. So good dude, big guy with a beard, likes to eat, makes smoked cocktails every now and then. He doesn't only cook on a pullet smoker. He cooks on a Kamado green egg, a couple of gas stoves. He cooks on a bunch of other stuff. So check him out. That's All Things Barbecue, one word, on YouTube. So great channel. I think you guys will like it. It's very personal.
I've seen him. He does do a good job. Here's one that I found probably a year ago. I've been watching. It's a man and woman in northern Florida on the coast. They catch mainly pompano for whatever reason. That must be a really good eating fish.
That's what I hear.
I never tried it, but that's basically all they fish for. It's called Real Coastal Fishing. Real beautiful lady. In the summertime, she wears her 2-piece bathing suit and everything. She's very attractive. It's not about that.
I
The
almost
lady
said that
can
about
fish.
Crystal Beachy, but I bit my tongue, Lyle.
Well, this lady can fish. Her husband fishes with her.
Uh-huh.
But his job and what he wants to do is get her filmed catching the fish. They explain why they use certain things, what kind of line they use. They don't really get into the type of rods and reels they use, although they have, but the bait and how they put it on and why they use it and how far they're throwing and what their target is when they throw it out in the ocean. Stuff that you can't get any other way. She is really good about talking about it, but he is even better at explaining what they're using. But he does not want to take the spotlight away from her because, in my mind, he thinks she is the fisherman. I think she thinks she's the fisherman, and they're very entertaining. To watch her run up and down that beach makes me sick because I can't run. My days of running's over, and she'll take off running, and they've got rods and reels in the ground and rod holders for what appears to be 100 yards or so, and they just both of them back and forth running up and down that beach. But they catch a lot of fish. Extremely good channel to watch. If you haven't checked it out, go ahead.
Tim Molina's got a comment here. He says, I think Spencer should have 1 million subs, and his Flathead Kayak Kids are awesome.
Is he talking about
Spencer over at River
Spencer Bauer? Yeah, he's the next one on my list.
There you go.
Spencer Bauer. Yeah.
I'll go ahead
and take them off.
Oh, I'll do a real quick one. Another good cooking channel I like to watch is Pro Home Cooks. He pretty much cooks at a higher level, but at home. He does everything from fermenting this and that to making homemade pasta and a bunch of stuff. He grows his own garden, does a lot of stuff like brick fired oven stuff, lots of air fryer stuff. So that's, I think, what cut his teeth. Also think he was on one of these cooking competition shows. I don't watch them on regular TV, but I definitely think he did really well, if not won one of them, which is why he came over to YouTube and did so well. He's got a huge channel. Check him out. The name of the channel is Pro Home Cooks.
Okay. The rest of mine are kind of grouped together, not specific channels, but things that pop up that I watch a lot of. And since we are on Wednesday nights on Panfish Nation, I switch my channels over when we post the show stuff from Catfish Weekly to Panfish Nation. And from that point on, when I switch over, I watch Mystery History. I'm a big history buff. I watch a lot of stuff about ancient Egypt. I am one of the people that believe there was a huge intelligent form of life before us that got knocked around and knocked out, and the human race had to start over. I know people find that weird, but I'm telling you, there's too much of it, too much history that goes back to proving that fact. So Wednesdays are history for me, and I watched the show tonight before we started, Mark, about when they think humans inhabited North America. And it's proven that it's way, 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 way before they thought it was. And I really enjoy that kind of stuff. In my mind, I'm thinking whenever they think it started in Europe, it probably started here. I don't think that necessarily people traveled from Europe over here as everyone tends to believe. I think they was always here, but that's just me. But Mystery History, I watch that stuff every Wednesday for hours. So if you get a chance to check some of that stuff out, if you're a history buff like I am, you'll like it.
Danny Stone Outdoor says, I watch Drunk History, learn history, and laugh your A off. I remember that show.
Yeah, I remember a night we was doing that, and James Dockery joined us.
I remember that too. All right, my last cooking channel. I actually have a second one here, but I'm gonna omit that one because I think I got the URL or the name wrong. But anyways, Matty Matheson, he's a young Canadian guy, not young, he's a Canadian guy who opened up a restaurant in I think it's Montreal or Quebec called Parts and Labor, Lyle. He opened it in an old garage, in an old auto shop, right?
Mhm.
Parts and Labor is the name. His food looks really good. He's kind of a madman. He's out of his mind crazy. Ex-drug addict that's reformed. Everybody deserves a good start. And he got through that through his cooking and his wife and stuff. And he had a heart attack, which was a come to Jesus moment for him as a figure of speech a bunch of years ago. And ever since, he's been kicking some major butt as far as his culinary stuff goes online. So check out Matty Matheson. I'm sure you guys have heard of him. He's a big name. He's a motocross guy. Does like he's a big guy. He's probably bigger than me. So, but he does great. Covered in tattoos. He might not be your cup of tea, but he's enjoyable for me to watch. So
there you go. Here's something if you're into music. I like the 70s stuff. When in the 1970s there was a show on called The Midnight Special, and it come on at midnight, and it had all of the predominant people in that era as guests. And I watch that. If I'm watching music a lot of times, that's what I'll watch. It's called Midnight Special, and they're all reruns, nothing new. They're always recorded back in the 1970s, then put back up. If you get a chance, if you like that kind of stuff, you'll enjoy it. There's tons of them on there. Some of the people are no longer with us, but their content is still outstanding. Watched a little of it tonight with Dire Straits on. It was really good. So who don't like listen, Mark Knopfler play the guitar.
Yeah, he's incredible. Yeah, good music always withstands the test of time. So
that's exactly right. Another thing that I like to watch is anything about lead porn, whether they're casting bullets, whether they're making sinkers.
Oh, I thought you said lead porn. I'm like, what are you talking? Oh, lead pouring. Gotcha.
Lead pouring, yeah. I watched a couple of videos recently about cleaning out your pots that you melt lead into pour. I have several ways that I do it. When I'm cleaning my lead up, I usually take mine out and put it on an old turkey fryer and put a pot in there, and then use a ladle and dip it out and make my ingots that way. And then you don't have all the dirt in your lead pour machine. But there's tons of videos out about pouring lead. All that is entertaining to me. If you like that kind of stuff, you should check some of that out. Anything about fly and jig time. And we talked about this when I mentioned Eric earlier, but I watched tons of that stuff, tons of it. And I really, really find it all interesting. Some of the guys are a lot better at others. Like I say, White Opaque, silence. You never hear him say a word, but his content's good. So there's plenty of that out there if you're into fly and jig tying. And since you brought the food thing up, Mark, my last one is a guy called Tony Tone Barbecue.
I'm not familiar with that one. I'll have to check him out. He
doesn't do every week stuff, but he's got great content. He's got a whole bunch of different cookers. He's got an outside, something I'm very jealous of. He has an outside kitchen. We talked about that. Got great content. He does really good about telling people that like stick burners, as I do, how to cut up their sticks and sizes and how to do it to maintain your heat temperature. He'll tell you in some of his videos how to line them with bricks. All kinds of really good content. I really like the guy. If you get a chance to go check him out.
Fire management is a big deal in barbecue.
Everything. There's another channel that I forgot about, Local Like Outdoors. I watch a lot of their videos. They do a lot of fishing from boats and stuff on small rivers, catch a lot of crappie and bluegill.
Very cool. Tim Molina says, my favorite cooking show is Cowboy Kent Rollins. He's the guy who has a chuck wagon. He's been doing it for a long time. He does a great job. He's very entertaining.
I'll bet his food is fabulous.
I bet you it's very good.
That was my last one, Mark.
I guess I'll throw this last one in here real quick. Sam, the cooking guy, he does a lot of quick videos. They're 20 minutes long, 30 minutes long. His food, I've tried a few of his recipes. They're simple to follow along, and everything I've ever cooked that he showed me how to cook was gosh darn tasty. So
sweet.
Sweet. Well, Lyle, it was fun sharing everything with you today.
I enjoyed this show very much. We talked about it last week, and I thought it would be a lot of fun, and I still think it was a lot of fun. Hope everybody enjoyed as much as we did. I know you're getting ready to go on a trip, and you're probably wanting to get out here to get things done, but tell Betty Jean I want that recipe if it's that good.
She's watching. She heard you. She'll probably cuss me out for spilling the beans. But since Richard was doing
it. You're very welcome. Keep up the good work. I enjoy watching your show.
Very cool. So yeah, I'm looking forward to fishing. So I want to wish everybody out in Tennessee that's at the gathering have a great time. Hopefully you guys are having a blast down there and knock the snot out of them fish down there, because that's what I plan on doing up north when I fish.
Well, good luck. Hope you have a great time and everybody up there has a good time. You will, because the fish are going to be biting, and you just got to find out which stage of going back they are and get in front of them. That's basically what you got to do. And it's a great place to fish. You guys will have a lot of fun. Schmieder and Cedar. Oh.
What's up, Schmieder? How you doing?
You're very welcome. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We really did. Are you going to be live from Mendota next week?
Maybe. Yeah, ring the bell. Go to my channel, Catfish and Crappie on YouTube. Make sure you're subbed and you got the bell notification rung up. I have no plans. I got nothing scheduled. I thought about going live at breakfast time and cooking my eggs or my oatmeal or whatever, talking with the people before we go out fishing, something like that. We might go live if we're out on the water and it isn't raining too hard. We're going to get some rain coming in here or there. So, but we're going to have fun either way. So do that, folks, and just keep an eye out. And I'll message you, Lyle, if I plan on going live. So, I'm sure Chad will go live for sure. So
he will. I'm sure they will. So it'll be fun. We'll keep our ears open for that. What about next Wednesday?
Well, we'll talk about next Wednesday. I'll be up there. We can probably go live from there, but we'll come up with an idea. Maybe we'll.
If not, just let me know. We'll make it happen. We've been going on here almost an hour and a half, Mark. That's kind of unusual for you and I.
I know. We're having fun. We had a big long list. We're pretty passionate about good content, and we understand what it takes to create it, and we appreciate all the ones that we mentioned and everybody here in chat. Definitely, it is definitely a struggle, but when you hit the nail on the head, it sure is pleasurable to watch and experience.
It is. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you next Wednesday night.
Bye, everybody. Stay safe.